Welcome to New York. Here, where New York feels real.
It is great to be here.
Yeah, so, a lot of first-time visitors arrive in the city, and they expect, the sheer scale of the place to be the hardest part.
Oh, absolutely. The skyscrapers, the crowds, all of it.
Right. You stand there on the sidewalk, craning your neck, feeling the energy of 8 million people, and you just brace yourself for this overwhelming chaos.
But I mean, if you actually talk to tourists at the end of their trip, the moments that almost broke them, they rarely have anything to do with the size of the buildings.
No, not at all. It's always the micro problems.
Yeah, it's entirely about the friction of the everyday. People prep for New York like they're training for a marathon, right? They map out the big picture, the Broadway tickets, the museums.
But they completely forget to tie their shoes.
Exactly, which means they end up standing on a street corner, just paralyzed.
Like trying to figure out which subway line to take when there are, 4 separate sets of stairs on one intersection?
Yeah, and they all seem to point in different directions. Or, walking out of a shop in Soho and realizing a torrential downpour just started.
And suddenly your only map is, like, a soggy paper brochure. Or worse, dealing with a dead phone battery at 10 o'clock at night.
Oh, that's the worst. Your feet ache, you're jet lagged, and you have literally no idea how to get back to your hotel.
And that day-to-day reality of moving through this incredible grid, well, that's where a tiny bit of digital preparation completely alters your trip.
The irony is, tourists try to solve these micro problems by downloading 70 different apps.
Right. They treat their phone like a Swiss Army knife with way too many blades. Which brings us to our mission for this deep dive.
Yeah, we're looking at a digital toolkit based on this breakdown of the apps that actually matter when you visit.
Because there's this massive misconception that you need 20 different travel apps to survive here. A bus tracker, a subway map, a walking map.
You really don't. It is about having a very small, curated setup before you arrive. That's what actually reduces travel stress.
Okay, let's unpack this, starting with the navigation trap.
Oh, the navigation trap is an absolute epidemic. I see it constantly.
Visitors just arriving with a chaotic folder of transit apps, right?
Yeah, dedicated entirely to getting around. But the core argument we need to establish right away is that you simply do not need all of that.
So what do you need?
For the vast majority of visitors, honestly, just using Google Maps or Apple Maps is genuinely enough.
Wait, really? Let me challenge that for a second. Are those default apps actually built for the nuances of a city like this?
They actually are now.
I mean, I can see Google Maps working great if you're driving in the suburbs, but New York is a completely different beast.
Well, that's the beauty of how these platforms have adapted. Google Maps treats the city's transit network as a single, fluid ecosystem now.
Okay, how so?
If you type in a destination in Brooklyn while standing in Manhattan, it doesn't just show you a subway line, it synthesizes the whole grid.
Oh, so it mixes things up.
Exactly. It might tell you to walk 3 blocks, jump on the subway for 2 stops, catch a ferry across the river, and then take a short bus ride.
Wow. And it calculates the transfer times between all those completely different modes of transit.
Seamlessly. It organically handles the mental math that a local would do instinctively.
That's super helpful. And I imagine Apple Maps is doing something similar now.
Vastly similar, yeah. And in some ways, it's visually superior for pedestrians.
Really? I feel like people used to hate Apple Maps.
They did. But over the past few years, they've upgraded the interface specifically for New York walking directions. It renders buildings and pathways much more cleanly.
So if you're just doing some neighborhood exploration, you genuinely might not need another app.
Exactly.
But playing devil's advocate here, what if I'm the kind of traveler who, hates walking an extra block if I don't have to?
Sure, we all know that feeling.
Right. Like, if I want maximum efficiency, does a generic algorithm really give me the best local shortcut?
Well, that is exactly where the exception lies. If you want human directions, you download Citymapper.
Citymapper. Okay, what makes that different?
It doesn't just tell you to take the downtown train. It actually analyzes the physical architecture of the station.
Wait, the architecture?
Yeah, it tells you exactly which subway car to board, like front, middle, or back.
Oh, wow. So when the doors open, you're right there.
Precisely. You step off directly in front of the fastest exit stairs.
That is a staggering level of detail. It's essentially letting you cheat the crowds.
It really is. And if your primary concern is unexpected delays, Transit is the other app worth mentioning.
Transit. Just called Transit.
Yeah, it has a simpler, faster interface specifically built around live tracking. It's unparalleled if you're trying to track a bus or navigate sudden service disruptions.
Let me stop you right there, though, because this reliance on live data feels like a trap itself.
How so?
Well, we're talking about the subway. Isn't trusting a live map underground like trying to stream a movie in a submarine?
That is such a good way to put it.
Right. Because once you walk down those concrete stairs, your cell service is just gone.
It is the hidden variable that tourists never account for. Subway service drops out constantly, depending on the station and your carrier.
So you can't just follow the blue dot.
No, you simply cannot rely on having an active internet connection to tell you which stop is next.
So what's the fix?
You have to load your directions and take a physical screenshot of the route before you descend underground. Locals do this automatically, but visitors usually don't know it yet.
Which means you avoid that terrible moment of standing on a crowded platform staring at a buffering wheel.
Exactly, while 3 different trains roll by and you have absolutely no idea if you should be on the express or the local.
That is a nightmare. Now, assuming you took that screenshot and you know where you're going, you still have to physically get onto the platform.
Right, you have to pay.
Which brings us to the mechanics of payment. The OMNY system.
Oh, this is perhaps the greatest friction reducer introduced to New York in the last decade. OMNY is the contactless tap-to-pay system.
So long, Petro cards.
Seriously, the era of staring blankly at a vending machine, doing math in your head to figure out your balance.
And then aggressively swiping a magnetic stripe that just refuses to read.
Yes. For tourists, that era is entirely over.
You literally just walk up to the turnstile and tap your smartphone, your smartwatch, or a contactless credit card.
Right. That's it. The screen flashes green, the gates open, and you are through.
And you don't even need to wake your phone up if you have Express Transit enabled. It's just like buying a coffee.
It is, but there is a massive technical caveat here that visitors constantly mess up.
Uh-oh. What is it?
If you are going to use OMNY, you must pick one single payment method and never deviate from it.
Wait, why does that matter if it's all pulling from the same bank account?
It sounds like it shouldn't matter, right?
Yeah. Like if I use my physical Visa card on Monday and then tap Apple Pay with that exact same Visa card on Tuesday, the MTA still gets its money.
It gets the money, but it doesn't know it's you. Because of device tokenization?
Device tokenization. Okay, explain that.
When you load a credit card into Apple Pay or Google Wallet, your phone scrambles the card number to protect your data. It creates a unique digital token.
Oh, I see.
So the turnstile reads your physical card and your digital phone wallet as 2 completely different human beings.
Oh, wow. So if you alternate between tapping your card and tapping your phone, you're splitting your rides across 2 profiles.
Which means you lose out on fare capping.
Because OMNY caps your fares for the week, right?
Exactly. After you hit a certain number of paid rides within a 7-day period, every ride after that is free.
But if you split your payments, the algorithm never registers that you hit the cap.
Right. Pick one piece of plastic or one device and commit to it for the entire trip.
That is a phenomenal insight. It's the difference between saving $20 and accidentally paying full price all week.
Absolutely.
Now let's pivot, because that tap-to-pay system gets you on the subway, but that underground grid isn't the only way to move. Here's where it gets really interesting. The NYC Ferry app.
Yes. The ferries represent a total paradigm shift for navigating the city.
And tourists almost entirely ignore them.
Yeah.
Right, because they're fixated on the subway map.
Honestly, this might save people more time than any sightseeing tip.
Taking the ferry bypasses Manhattan's greatest trap, which is the surface-level street grid and, the claustrophobia of the subway.
It is an incredible psychological relief. I mean, the subway's efficient, but it's sensory overload.
So loud.
Right. The ferry system is the exact opposite. You're out on the open water, you have a physical seat.
A breeze.
Exactly, a breeze. They even sell coffee and snacks on board. And the NYC Ferry app handles your mobile tickets and live departure schedules.
So if you're traveling from Wall Street over to DMBO or up to Williamsburg or even out to Rockaway Beach,
you're replacing a dark, screeching commute with a scenic cruise.
You're essentially getting premium skyline views for the exact price of a standard transit fare.
It's the best deal in the city.
But since you brought up bypassing the street grid, we really have to talk about the surface-level illusions, specifically the rideshare trap.
Oh boy. Uber and Lyft. The default comfort blanket for the modern traveler.
Right. Visitors fly in, look at a map of Manhattan and think, I'm on vacation. I am not dealing with public transit. I'll just order a car.
Yeah, they think it's private, it's air-conditioned, so it has to be faster.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, that assumption fundamentally misunderstands the physics of Manhattan's infrastructure.
It really does. The grid system in the commercial centers was simply not designed for the sheer volume of stuff we have today.
Commercial delivery trucks, pedestrians blocking turning lanes, construction.
And thousands of rideshare vehicles aimlessly circling. If you try to take a car through Midtown or Soho during the day, you are going to be sitting in agonizing gridlock.
You're essentially paying $30 to be a spectator in a traffic jam.
Yes.
I've literally had moments where I watch pedestrians walking on the sidewalk, pass my car, stop to get a coffee, and then pass my car again.
It's brutal. A subway ride that takes 12 minutes can easily take 45 minutes in an Uber.
This catches almost every first-time visitor by surprise. They assume the premium price tag guarantees speed.
Now, to be clear, you shouldn't just delete the apps. They do serve a very specific utility.
Like going to the airport.
Right, airport rides with heavy luggage. Or returning to your hotel at 2 in the morning when subway frequency drops. Or navigating outer boroughs where transit lines are sparse.
In those cases, you need ride shares. And the data we looked at points out a very specific strategy. Keep both Uber and Lyft installed.
Definitely. Don't be loyal to one.
Because of algorithmic surge pricing, right?
Exactly. The cost between those two apps can swing wildly based on hyper-local demand.
Like if a Broadway show gets out.
Right. If you walk out of a theater at the exact same time as 3,000 other people, or if the sky suddenly opens up and starts raining, the algorithms immediately spike the prices.
So checking both apps simultaneously is the only way to ensure you aren't paying an artificial premium.
It's mandatory.
Speaking of the sky opening up, that weather variable is the ultimate dictator of surface-level movement.
Oh, weather dominates the New York experience because you are entirely exposed to it.
This is a walking city. You aren't hopping from an air-conditioned house to an air-conditioned car to an air-conditioned mall.
No, you are out in the elements. And, you know, a summer in New York is not like a summer in dry heat.
Oh my gosh, no. You step out of an icy museum in July, and the humidity just hits you like a physical wall.
It feels like walking into a greenhouse while wearing a winter coat.
Which is exactly why relying on a generic morning weather glance just isn't enough.
Basic apps like Apple Weather, the Weather Channel, or AccuWeather are strategic tools here.
Because a sudden, unpredicted rainstorm doesn't just mean you get slightly wet.
No, it's a cascading logistical failure. It blows up those rideshare prices we just talked about. It packs the subway platforms with people seeking shelter.
It totally ruins your plan to walk the High Line.
Exactly. You have to monitor the hourly forecast to time your outdoor movements.
And when you combine that greenhouse humidity with sitting in a traffic jam, dodging rain puddles, and walking 20,000 steps in a single day, you hit a physical wall.
Oh, yeah. You are exhausted, and you need food.
So how do we use this digital toolkit to navigate the dining scene without falling into some neon-lit tourist trap in Times Square?
Well, this requires getting how tight the space is. Commercial rent here is astronomically high.
So restaurants maximize their floor plan for dining tables.
Right, which leaves absolutely zero physical space for a waiting area inside the restaurant.
So they push the wait list entirely into the digital space.
Exactly, and this is where OpenTable and Resi become mandatory.
Because a tourist might think they can just stroll through the West Village on a Friday night and walk right into a charming Italian spot.
And the reality is the host will tell them the wait is 2.5 hours.
Right. So OpenTable allows you to open a map, see exactly who has a table available right now within a 5-block radius, and claim it before you even start walking.
It eliminates the desperation of wandering around hungry.
And for vetting those spots, we have Yelp. But I have to ask, isn't Yelp just a graveyard of 5-paragraph rants from people who were angry their water glass wasn't refilled fast enough?
I mean, if you read the reviews, yes. But that is the wrong way to use Yelp in New York.
How should you use it?
You use Yelp as a visual search engine. You look at the user-uploaded photos to check the vibe of the room.
Right.
Is it a quiet date spot or a loud party environment?
That makes sense.
You check the photos of the menu to see the real prices, and you verify their current operating hours. It's an incredibly fast way to validate a restaurant's authenticity without reading a single word of a review.
But let's look at the less glamorous side of travel. Sometimes you don't want authenticity.
Sometimes you just want to eat in bed.
Right. You plan this whole glamorous Sex in the City evening, but in reality, your feet have blistered, you're freezing cold, and you're sitting on your hotel bed in a bathrobe.
We've all been there.
You just want food delivered. Most tourists don't think about this until it becomes a problem.
The delivery backup plan is a vital safety net. Visitors feel immense pressure to make every meal an event, but there is zero shame in pulling up DoorDash, Uber Eats, or Grubhub.
And wait, I assume everyone knows what Uber Eats is. Why is it so specifically necessary to have set up here?
Because of decision fatigue and geographic constraints. Say you get back to your hotel in Midtown East at midnight. The local cafes are closed.
And taking the subway back downtown for late-night food is just exhausting.
Exactly. Uber Eats is frictionless if you already use Uber. Your payment is loaded, your location is tracked, and you can order a phenomenal local bodega sandwich directly to your hotel lobby while you take a hot shower.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
But here's the terrifying catch to everything we've discussed. The maps, the food delivery, the ride shares, the digital subway tickets.
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
All of these safety nets are completely useless if your screen goes black.
Yes. Battery management is the single most critical logistical failure point for tourists.
In New York City, your phone battery is going to drain at an unprecedented rate.
It really does.
Why is that, though? What makes this environment so uniquely toxic to a lithium battery?
Think about the mechanisms at play. First, because you're outdoors, your screen brightness is constantly fighting the glare of the sun, operating at maximum capacity.
That makes sense.
Second, because you're moving above and below ground, your phone's cellular antenna is constantly dropping signal. It spends massive amounts of energy frantically searching for a new cell tower connection.
Add in GPS mapping and taking dozens of photos, and a fully charged phone at 9 a.m. is completely dead by 2 p.m.
And a dead phone here means you have no navigation, no way to pay the subway turnstile.
No access to your digital dinner reservations.
No way to call a car. You are effectively stranded in the grid. Bringing a high-capacity portable charger in your day bag is an absolute necessity.
Beyond just carrying a battery pack, there's a software strategy to mitigate this drain, right?
Yeah, and it involves the most basic app on your phone, the Notes app.
This is one of those small things that makes NYC feel much easier. It acts like your own personal offline intranet.
That's a perfect way to describe it. Tourists waste massive amounts of battery and time standing on a crowded sidewalk, cycling through 10 different browser tabs, waiting for a lifestyle blog to load so they can remember the name of a bakery.
Right, and the connection is terrible.
Instead, before you leave the hotel, you curate a cheat sheet in your Notes app.
You type in the cross streets of your hotel, the names of the 3 restaurants you want to hit, and the specific subway lines you need.
It lives offline, it opens instantly, you aren't fighting for bandwidth on a congested cell network, and you keep moving.
That's so smart. Now, there's one more app that heavily relies on your camera, but is worth the battery drain. Google Translate.
Oh, absolutely. New York is one of the most linguistically diverse cities on the planet.
If you stay strictly in Midtown Manhattan, you probably won't need it.
But if you take the subway out to Flushing, Queens, to explore the incredible food markets, or venture into deep Brooklyn, having the Google Translate camera feature is magical.
You just point your lens at a physical menu, and it instantly overlays the English translation, right?
Yeah, it empowers you to step outside the curated tourist zones with confidence.
It lowers the barrier to entry for the best parts of the city. But, having analyzed this entire digital toolkit, I want to take a step back from the screens for a moment.
What's fascinating here is that even with all of this highly optimized technology, the ultimate tool for reducing travel stress is basic offline orientation.
What do you mean by that? Does analog awareness really compete with the GPS algorithm?
Well, apps are tools, but they shouldn't dictate your spatial understanding.
Right.
If you spend your entire trip blindly following a glowing blue dot on a digital map, you lose the context of the city. You need to look up.
Memorize the physical cross streets of your hotel.
Exactly. Understand the fundamental grid concept of uptown versus downtown.
Because if you rely purely on the tech, a single dead battery induces panic.
But if you understand the analog grid, the apps just become a convenience, not a lifeline.
So what does this all mean? When we distill all of these mechanisms and strategies, what is the core truth for the listener?
The truth is that you do not need an hour-by-hour spreadsheet, and you do not need a phone cluttered with 20 niche travel apps.
You just need foundational basics.
Exactly. Reliable navigation through Google or Apple Maps. Flexible transportation awareness, like knowing when to take the ferry instead of an Uber.
Respect for the weather.
A portable charger to keep your digital safety net alive. And the flexibility to pivot. Once those basics are locked in, New York stops feeling like a hostile obstacle course.
It really does.
Yeah.
It allows you to stop fighting the city and start actually experiencing it. And if you are looking for more of that realistic ground-level approach, You should absolutely dive into New York here.
Highly recommend it.
It is the definitive media publication for everything we just unpacked. Realistic NYC experiences, neighborhood walks, local discoveries, transportation nuances.
And the everyday city life that goes way beyond the glossy, superficial tourist guides.
I will leave you with this final thought.
Yeah.
We just spent a significant amount of time optimizing your digital toolkit so that you never get lost or stranded.
But once you have that safety net fully established, what would happen if you actively chose to put your phone in your pocket for just one full block and let New York City surprise you?
This has been New York here, where New York feels real.